Find the exact value of sine 165 degrees. The emphasis on exact value means you can't just throw in a calculator, because calculators are always approximate. So instead we're going to have to use a sum or difference formula to connect them. In particular, this case, we're going to represent that 165 is 135 plus 30. Why would we pick those two? Because 30 degrees is an angle whose trig functions we know exactly, and 135 will have a reference angle of 45 degrees, which is something where we know the trig functions exactly. So we'll be able to use a sum here to break them up. So we say that sine of 165 is, by the sum and difference angle, right? We'll say it's the sine of 135 plus 30 degrees, but we also know that sine of a plus b is sine of a cosine of b plus cosine of a sine of b, where here a is 135 and b is 30 degrees. But we can also say that sine of 135 is going to be the same as sine of its reference angle, which is 45 degrees, and it's going to be a plus because we're in second quadrant. And cosine of 30 is going to be, well, just cosine of 30 for now. And likewise, cosine of 135 is going to be minus the cosine of 45, again, same reference angle, sine of 30. We get the minus on the cosine because we're in second quadrant where cosine is negative. But all of these are trig functions we know via that chart. Now we can start substituting in. Sine of 45 is root 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 is root 3 over 2. We get that minus sign. Cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. And sine of 30 is 1/2. And then we just multiply things together. Root 2 times root 3 is root 6. 2 times 2 is 4. Root 2 times 1 is root 2. 2 times 2 is 4. At the end, we might end up with root 6 minus root 2 all over 4. And that would be the exact value of sine of 165 degrees.